All right. What's going on, everybody? We are live. We are live. I hope you guys can hear me all right. I hope everything is going well with everybody. So, as you guys are coming into the live stream, first and foremost, guys, I want to get a sound check. Let me know if you guys can hear me here on the live stream. I'd really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, or at least give me a yes if you guys can hear me all right. I'm not using my typical volume or my equipment that I normally use. So today, guys, I got a real treat for you. We are going to bring in Emma Cruises. She needs no introduction, but I'm sure most of you guys already know who she is. She is another cruise content creator. Honestly, a lot of you say she's a lot better looking than myself. I agree. So as you guys are coming in, make sure you hit that thumbs up. We're going to bring Emma here in a minute, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I just hope all of you guys are doing well. So what we're going to do, Emma and I, we're going to have some conversations about just, cruise information, have some Q&As, of course, and we'll answer all your questions in the live stream as well. All I ask that you guys, of course, be patient, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Emma in, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, let me get the sound back on. Emma, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. Hear me? All
okay,
good?
perfect. Yep, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Awesome, amazing. Hi, thanks for having me back. Well, you were on mine last time, weren't you? I think. I've lost you. Now I don't know if anyone hears me.
All right, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Can you see me? You just disappeared for a minute, and I don't know who can see me or not.
Come on.
Oh no! Can you guys see me?
Yeah,
He froze.
okay.
People can see me still.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sounds good.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
I didn't know if people could still see me or not, and if this was.
I wasn't sure either. I just saw the screen go black. I'm like, okay. All right. Hopefully we should be good. I know the Wi-Fi is pretty strong here. Hopefully we should be good. And that was just like a little weird hiccup. Anyway, cool. So yeah, so we got the myth, the legendary Emma Cruises. How's everything going for you?
Everything is good. I have been on a cruise within the last couple of weeks, and I have more booked. And how long have we been waiting for that? It's amazing.
I know we all are.
So good.
We all are. Yeah, unfortunately, I've only had the opportunity to just see the cruise ships, and also I got to see. Yeah, I've been bouncing around quite a bit. I got to see Adventure of the Seas the other day over in Cozumel. I'll be getting ready to go back out there tomorrow, actually, while I'm over here in Mexico, and I was over in Port Canaveral as well. Saw the Odyssey of the Seas. What else was out there? Of course, the Mardi Gras, and I think we had the Disney Dream or Fantasy out there as well. It was a fun day, but I can't wait to board. I'm excited.
I saw you on the live stream and I was like, where is he now? Like, I don't know where you're going to be in the world the next time I click on it, but it was interesting to see.
That's one thing. I bounce around quite a bit. Everybody's like, dude, where are you at? Oh, you're in the Bahamas? Because I went over there too prior to Adventure of the Seas getting over there. I was there for like one day. That whole situation was crazy, but it was interesting just being even there for that one day. So I mean, but I got a couple other plans. No set cruises other than the Mardi Gras. I'll be on the inaugural sailing, but starting next week, I'm gonna get some other. Go ahead and put some other bookings in. So I'm excited. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm gonna jump on yet, but I'll be sure to let everybody know.
Yeah, it'll be so good. That like it could be anything, and to be back on the cruise. It'll be so good.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so look, so let's hear it. So first of all, how long have you been on YouTube?
I think 2017, I think I started 4 years now.
Oh, so you did start before me.
Yeah, but I think the first couple of years, it's, here's a video from the elevator and like, there's nothing of me really. It was just, cool stuff I wanted to share, or I'm in Johnny Rockets, here's something, kind of like that. I'd say last couple of years I've made an effort.
Oh, I mean, that's typically how it starts out. Now, given I got the luck of the draw, I guess. I saw the opportunity right out of the gate for the beginning for me because my first couple of videos just took off. And I was really surprised. So, I mean, given I had my kind of low point, I guess, after I stopped working for Norwegian Cruise Lines, because I was just like a regular guy sitting in my living room talking, and then by the time everything started taking off again was during the pandemic, of course. But, like I said before we started the stream, opportunities for sure. And it's definitely a blessing. Now, I know you do YouTube full time. How has that been for you?
Amazing. And I have to say, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't know if I would have made that jump. But there was so much more to do on YouTube with cruise news and everything. And I know I just tried to do as much as I could for the last year. It feels like to me I spent the last year like sowing seeds that finally this year are starting to bloom. So
trust me, I know the feeling.
I mean,
I'm telling you,
it's
like
weird.
in between all that, because I was doing news and stuff even like somewhat prior to this. Most of the time I was just doing like Shiplife stories where I was talking about things that happened on board the ship and stuff while I was working with NCL and whatnot. But I kept telling myself, you know what, I got no microphone, I got really no money while I'm doing this, but I should just keep going because I believe that an opportunity is going to come. And lo and behold, I would have never thought it would have been the pandemic, but I'm definitely grateful for it, because I tell people all the time, I'm so grateful because YouTube has legitimately changed my life. And I believe it's the most underrated thing on the planet right now. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to reach this many people with something you want to say, is there? Can you imagine? It still doesn't sink in. Like, I don't know how many people are watching now, but it doesn't. I can see comments, but the fact that people are seeing it from the other side, it doesn't sink in.
It takes a while to register. Trust me, I know. Let's go to some messages first here before we go ahead and get too into it, because I could talk for days. I'm sure you remember from last time. I can.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
Talk and talk and talk. But I want to keep the people engaged as well. Look, I see you normally. See, you got a good formula here. People, if they have a question, they'll put question in big bold letters. I got to try that.
Yes, do that.
I see somebody has a question from Jessica. Any tips for first-time cruisers? They're going on the Carnival Glory in April of 2022.
Oh, shall I go first?
Oh, yeah, please do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million trillion tips you can give a first-time cruiser, but one thing I see a lot is people think that they have to be busy for their entire cruise and they have to fill up every day and book things, and just give yourself time just to sit down and chill out and just enjoy your cruise. You don't necessarily have to be, doing everything all the time to have a good time. So, give yourself a day just where you don't do anything, and sometimes it's the best day. So that's one from me.
See, you've answered that better than I could. So, I'm very transparent with my audience. The most of my experience comes from working on board cruise ships. I've only been on one cruise as a passenger. So this will be like my first official cruise by myself, the Mardi Gras, the inaugural sailing, which I'm really excited about. But I mean, I would just say with anything in life, if you're doing something for the first time, don't go into it with anticipation. Don't go into it with too much of a thought of what you need to do. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Have fun. Don't get too caught up in the fact that you're going on a cruise and you got to experience this and experience that. Just ride the wave.
Yeah, it's your cruise. I mean,
exactly.
You only have to make yourself happy, really, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, listen, we got another question.
Oh, from Lou.
Emma, how many cruises other than the Staycation UK have you booked?
I have only got cruises booked after this summer that I've pushed forward that have been cancelled this summer, if you know what I mean. So I had a cruise booked to Norway that I've pushed to next year, and I booked a British Isles cruise that I've pushed to next year. So they're my ones for next year. And then this summer, I'm cruising around the UK quite a lot, and I'm not sure if we're going to continue that season. It's supposed to end in September, October, but.
Okay, so how many cruises? I know you mentioned that. How many cruises do you have booked for the summer, or just I guess between now and the end of the year?
So for the Staycations, I booked Virgin Voyages. I booked on Scarlet Lady.
Trying to make a remake. I don't know. You should. I guess that's going to be interesting for you. I know you got your famous video that everybody talks about.
Yeah, so the thing is the price of the voyages are half of what Virgin wanted to charge. For anyone who doesn't know, I spent a night on board Scarlet Lady, wasn't very impressed with it. I didn't understand who would pay this price for this thing, because they wanted to charge like a Viking price. And I was just looking at this and thinking...
But isn't the business model behind it that I guess it's supposed to be like somewhat all-inclusive? Is that the idea? Drinks and all that come with it? Is that the idea?
No, well, kind of. They only include soft drinks, so you'd have to buy alcoholic drinks. It includes like gratuities and Wi-Fi. But even still, I was still thinking like, who's going to pay? You could literally go on Viking or Disney for the same price, and I didn't get it. But this summer, they have half the prices, and it's the same price as me cruising with Royal Caribbean.
Maybe they've learned their lesson.
Yeah, so I just thought...
Maybe they've learned their lesson, I guess.
We'll have to see if the prices go back up afterwards. But I thought if I could either cruise with Royal Caribbean or try something totally you, I will. So I have booked 3 nights, and it was £440 I paid. So
that's
it's
not
over.
bad. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, considering that Wi-Fi is included and
Well,
soft drinks
they
and
have the
stuff.
solo option too, right? Is it the solo option?
It's not. That had sold out by the time I got there because it's very popular. So that is the first one I booked. I also have booked a Disney cruise, which I know.
What? Look, see, I tell
Yeah,
people all the time, I don't have Disney money, Disney cruise money.
that's what I've thought my entire life. But I thought this is my
Yeah.
chance because I can do a really short one. I'm not taking any children with me. I don't have any children, so I'm doing it out of the school holidays.
Are you going
And
on the Magic?
I'm staying in
Okay.
the cheapest that you can find. It's still double what I would normally pay for a cruise.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I'm sure is it your first one you said?
I feel like this is my chance because normally I'd have to fly and add on flights and it would get really, really expensive.
Yeah, it
So I
add up
thought,
quickly. Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm sure. I mean, if you're into the whole nostalgia and magical thing, I'm assuming you're going to love it.
see,
So, I mean,
I'm not, I never really wanted to be a princess or, I'm not really one of those big
Yeah.
Disney, like I'm interested in how is a Disney cruise from a cruise perspective, because I feel like the people that like
Gotcha.
Disney would like
Are
anything
not,
Disney sometimes,
yeah,
right?
they're not like it's not the idea of the cruise. It's the idea of the Disney and the magic and everything going
Yeah,
on with that.
I'm not sure. So I'm going to see it from the cruising perspective. There's quite a lot
Okay.
included in Disney. Again, it's like soft drinks and stuff, but it's very different. So I thought this was my chance.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm going to
I'm sure
try
it'll
it.
be an experience for you. Yeah, I got friends
Yeah.
on those shit, by the way. A friend of mine, my friend is the Black Panther on board, and then I got another friend that's a dancer, Laura Tinkler. So they're both on board right now. They've been talking about their whole experience and all that with me too. So you'll see them, I'm
Yeah.
sure, whenever you
I'm
get on
sure.
board. I mean, you won't recognize them, but
I'm sure it'll be great. It's just it's not something I would normally consider at all. I would never normally look at a Disney cruise, but
yeah, I mean,
I'll try.
no, I don't blame you, but you definitely as cruise content creators too. Why not? I think it'd be good for the channel. It'd be a good experience for you as a person too. Who knows? You might fall in love with it and decide you're only gonna do Disney cruises. Who knows?
I can't let myself do that, but I do always get every live stream questions. Have you cruised with Disney? If I look in the drop down or just on YouTube, Emma Cruises, Disney is the first thing that comes up. So at least I'll have something, whoever's searching that, to look at. I figure.
Yeah, I think that's something that I'm excited about. I can't wait to get some legitimate cruises under my belt. And it blows my mind too. Even with my channel, I'm like, I'm thankful because the bulk of my experience obviously comes from being a crew member, so I have the inside knowledge. And then when I was working for NCL, I was working. I think I told you before, I was working not even 2 days a week, and I had guest privileges. I had room service. I was pretty much on a cruise. I can go to the spa everywhere that I wanted to go. But I guess, for a lot of people, you already know here on YouTube, you see a lot of the negative, mean comments, and it gets a little like, it doesn't bother me to a certain extent, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, people are wondering, oh, how do you know what you're talking about if you've only been on one cruise and you've only been a crew member? And I'm like, I hear a lot of things, and I do my homework. You know how, but I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've had your fair share.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the internet. So.
Oh yeah, no, I think the YouTube comment section is probably one of the most interesting places on planet Earth.
Yeah,
really
I've really kind of cleaned mine up a lot. I have so many blocked words in that block list now. Basically, whenever I get a mean comment and I see a new mean word that I haven't blocked yet, add it to the block list, and someone else goes through my list for me, so I don't ever read the mean comments anymore.
I've never thought about doing that. Usually I'll wait a little while because so the thing about me is I also, again, we talked about this as far as YouTube. I think engagement is important. Now, given it, there are people that are coming in that are being too negative. Eventually, especially if they're commenting on video after video, I swear those are the same people that will come in and put the dislike button as soon as the video gets posted.
Yeah, of course.
You see those people, right? But for me, to me, I'm like, there's nothing more loyal than a hater at the end of the day. So I'm like, as long as they're not saying anything too bad, that's consistent views. This man shows up and says what he has to say, and I'm like, you know what? I just wait until it gets out of hand. There are times we're all entertaining. I wonder who has the time to go and say nasty things like that. I really do, because I don't have that kind of time. I just can't imagine. But for me, it's interesting. It really is, But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah,
but
people are interesting.
I know I've come across it on the YouTube studio. I got to check out the block list. But let's get to
Yeah.
another question by James Park. Said, travel insurance. Is there a way to buy travel insurance for an entire year rather than for each of our or each 4 cruises we expect to take next year?
Yes. I
Well,
normally
you heard
I
it here.
normally buy an annual policy. You can just buy an annual policy. I normally do because it works out cheaper normally. So yeah, you can. You come from
I was
most
gonna say I'll
places.
let you handle that. I'll let you handle all that. I'm still diving into that new world. I've seen you got
Oh
all these
really? Yeah.
yeah, well for me again,
Um.
it's like I've been on one cruise and it was when I went with my sister. She had everything already booked, you know what I mean? So that was the only time
Mhm.
that I went. So for me, it's
Yeah.
like when you look at all the insurance and everything else, this is why I don't ever talk about those kind of things on my channel unless,
Oh
obviously
yeah.
the when there's cruise cancellations, suspensions, all that stuff is already written in black and white as far as like
Yeah.
cruise credit, all that stuff. You don't need to be a travel agent or knowledgeable. But when I hear this
Mhm.
stuff, everybody's asking about insurance and stuff. I'm like, I can't help you there
Oh
because I haven't dealt with that stuff myself either.
yeah, I
So
talk about this stuff all the time. And you need
yeah.
travel insurance. Like, I don't care where you're going, you need travel insurance. And if you are
Hmm.
doing more than, 2 or 3 trips in a year, it's normally cheaper to get an annual one. That's what I have. Not to plug my own website, but if you want to go,
I mean,
emmacruises.com,
have at
type in
it. Have
insurance.
at it. Have at
There,
it.
there's so
I
much
mean,
insurance stuff there.
yeah,
it's
I've seen your blog site.
it's
Speaking of which,
important. Like,
so what were you doing before all? So was YouTube first, or I think I heard you mention you started what, a Facebook group first?
I started a website first.
What's that?
Then I
Okay, like a blog.
started then I started a Facebook group to kind of collect people.
Hmm.
I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
it's hard
I
work.
get
It
it.
doesn't really want to show people your links to your YouTube or to your blogs, and
Yeah.
it's quite hard work. But I do have a Facebook group, and then I started YouTube just because I mean certain things are just easier to show people rather than
Hmm.
to
Agreed.
try and
Agreed.
describe something in text. So
Yeah,
that's why I
I think
started it
YouTube.
really.
Yeah, to me, YouTube is like the icing on the cake, though, too. YouTube is a good way to kind of. I think the way the algorithm, how it puts people out there, is pretty amazing. How it all works organically, but it links you. You can already put all your links and everything else in the description box, and just kind of
Hmm.
get people to go to your blogs, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Twitter. Which all that stuff for me. I think I've told you before. I'm not a super tech savvy guy. I'm kind of just learning as I go along. So I have a Facebook group. My Facebook group is just about 3,000 strong. I haven't really been promoting up until maybe recently. I started it first, and then I was like, it's just a
Yeah,
Facebook group. I'll kind of just let it, I'll post my videos and let everybody have their conversations and whatnot. But I'm just now getting on Twitter and Instagram and expanding. So I don't know. Me and you
yeah,
might have to talk about that. I might need some tips from the
yeah,
legendary Emma Cruz.
yeah. No, I go to like tag you in things. I'm like, I don't know if he's on Twitter or anything. So you need to like get everything in a line so I know where you are.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Again, I've been studying this stuff for a while. I'm obsessed with the YouTube algorithm. I love how all of it works as far as videos and tags and whatnot. And then I even see on Twitter. I'm like, okay, I see she has like a time that she posts on Twitter. It's brilliant. It really is.
Do I?
Just get everything organized. It seemed like it. I was like, okay, well, it just seemed like it. I don't know. Maybe I'm
It's
wrong.
not organized. It's just as and
Yeah.
when
All
I feel like it.
right. Hold on. We got a super chat from Ryan Eastman. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I appreciate it. Give me your thoughts on Mardi Gras inside. I sent you both a nice video in advance of the stream. It was you.
This is what I was talking about. We were talking about this
Yeah.
before the live.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen it. Emma, did you see it?
yeah. I mean, it
Oh,
looks amazing. It looks like renderings to me. It doesn't look like a real thing. And I know you're saying it's real and you're there, but to me, it still doesn't. It hasn't quite sunk in that it's a real ship. But it looks great.
yeah.
I'm very envious that you're going on Mardi Gras.
I'll have to watch it after. I'm really excited because I've been watching back to back videos because you have all these people that are posting these digital renderings and pictures and
Yeah,
whatnot. I'm
I'm
just
so
waiting.
used
I've
to
joined a
that.
couple. Yeah, well, I've joined
Yeah.
a couple of groups as well. I'm trying to because the thing is, I'm trying to figure out what videos I want to create while I'm there. I think that's to
Hmm.
me as a content creator too. That's the hardest part because switching from just let's say for example we're sitting in our room versus doing vlogs and whatnot. It's a whole nother dynamic. So
Yeah.
for me, I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to structure it and how I want to give obviously the audience the best thing, the best experience that I can. There's a ton of
Hmm.
videos that I want to be able to put out. I'm like, okay, how can I put out a ton of videos, a bunch of content without overdoing it myself? So I'm just
Yeah.
kind of working all that around, figuring it around. But I joined a Facebook group. I also joined a group where we're going to do a cabin crawl. So basically, you have a bunch of people that
Oh,
have purchased
fun.
Yeah, well, they've purchased every single cabin that's available. So I
Hmm.
joined their group, and for free, they have a set time. We get to go and see all the cabins that are available on board the ship. So I think that'll be interesting to check out.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, for me, I got the standard. I'm by myself. It's my first cruise. The
Hmm.
inaugural sailing was pretty expensive on my end too, because even just for
Yeah.
me, so they don't have solo cabins on board, at least to my knowledge. It was $2,500 or $2,600 for the cruise.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean,
I
I don't know,
mean,
if,
it
like,
is what it is. You want to be there, don't you? So
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I'm not complaining about it. But for me, I
yeah.
was like, okay, well, to me, I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot more recording than I'm going to be in my room anyway. So for this particular cruise, I might as well just go
Yeah.
ahead, especially since I'm by myself, get the cheapest one available, and
Hmm.
record and do it. Just have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I did
So
wonder if they would still do kind of cabin cruise because when, they used to be organized, a lot of them would be through like Cruise Critic, or sometimes the cruise line would host the group who would do the cabin crawl. And I
mhm.
thought, are they going to want people doing that after this? But if people are tested and vaccinated and stuff, it's not
Yeah,
really an
I
issue
think.
anymore.
Well, with Carnival, they're supposed to be fully vaccinated or 95% vaccinated, so I don't think it'd be a
Yeah,
problem. Okay, thanks, Rob. My mistake. Yeah, they said they actually do have solo cabins on board the Mardi Gras.
I
Interesting.
bet that
Okay, good to know.
some people say no. So
Some people are saying not for this cruise. I'm confused now. I'm confused. I mean, at least up until this, because again, it's like I understand what ships are available for which line, but when you get into the details about what ship has solo cabins and how many balconies they have on board, I'm not a travel agent. I
yeah.
make that very clear to my audience. I don't know all of those details. I don't know which stateroom is better than which. I don't know any of that stuff. Right? I can see pictures
Oh.
all day, and it gives me a basic idea. I have a general idea of what's going on, right? But for
Hmm.
me, a balcony is a balcony until it gets to the point to where it's like the loft suite, or let's say if you're an NCL at the Haven. I understand the basic inner workings of that. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to take me a little time to really get down to all of that. That's a lot of
I
details
mean,
on cruising. You know that, a lot of
that's like
details.
the most fun research. So you're gonna have a great time, like
Yeah,
working it all
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like I've done my research as far as looking at what ships are available, which fleet. I know what ships are coming, especially for the main cruise lines like your Carnival, your Virgin. I know what ships are
Mhm.
coming between now and 2030. But it's like when you get down to the details, because everybody knows every bar on the ship, and I'm like, man, to sit here and learn that for every single cruise line, I'd rather just go experience myself and go do my walk around and learn
Mhm.
that way, because we can do all the research all day, but until you go experience it, it's going to be a whole other dynamic.
Yeah, you're gonna have loads of fun. Like I know.
Yeah, and I'm sure for you, it's probably like what, second nature. You've been cruising since you were real little, right? When
Yeah,
you were a kid, 10.
I was 11, so it's
Mhm.
hard for me because like when we're talking to people who've never been on a cruise, and I'm trying to explain, they will say, "Oh, I'd be bored, stuck on a ship," and I'm saying, you don't know how big this is for a start until you stood
Yeah,
next to it.
yeah,
So sometimes
agreed.
you forget what other people don't know. Because yeah, I was 11 on my first cruise, so I it, I just went and had a good time because I was a kid and it was fun.
Yeah, but I'm sure a lot of the amenities and features on board the ship for you were just like second nature. I think
Yeah,
that's where Yeah,
it was just
I do
fun.
believe that's where me and you have, I guess, are somewhat like-minded when it comes to that, because we're both younger people and we don't exactly fit the mold of your standard cruiser. So I'll see stuff like this all the time. I'm sure you will as well. But my idea between my channel as well, first of all, just even outside of cruising, I believe travel is the greatest teacher, and I also believe the world would be a better place if everybody traveled. And
Hmm.
I think cruising is a good opportunity. It's a good stepping stone as well. But especially if you love the ocean, if you love water, it's a good place to be. It's a good community as well, and I think it's a good experience for really anybody. Doesn't matter the age. So my idea with my channel is when I get on board ships, I want to get rid of that whole idea, that whole negative stereotype that you have to be older to be able to cruise and enjoy yourself,
Yeah,
because
it's so
they don't know cruise lines have go-karts and indoor skydiving. They don't know about this stuff, I guess, apparently,
yeah.
so
It's really weird because whenever I speak to someone and they say, "Oh, I don't think I'd like a cruise," there's like a 50% chance of which way they're going to go. They're either going to say, "Oh, it's boring and it's for old people," or it's drunk kids having a spring break. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
50-50 where it's going to
yeah.
go. So there's everything
That's
in between, literally.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I hear the spring break party idea more often than not just due to the fact that, especially here in the U.S., naturally people are thinking the Caribbean, and they're going to
Yeah.
think Florida and sailing out of Miami, so they're going to point straight over to spring break, which is
Yeah.
not the case. Now, given I love a good party, don't get me wrong, but there's
Yeah.
still a bunch of chill cruises. Like even when I was working for NCL, because again, I was working not even 2 days a week. I had a lot of time on my hands. One of my favorite sailings that we would do was over to Canada. So we would stop in St. John's, and then we go to Halifax. To me, that was my favorite. That was my favorite cruise. It was relaxing. It was chill. I can go get
Yeah.
some Tim Hortons over in Canada. Delicious. Like I don't know if you've ever been there. You ever been to Canada?
I've been to Canada, but I haven't been there.
Look, they got a coffee shop called Tim Hortons. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Coffee is amazing. They got donut holes called Timbits. They're so good. Then they got
Sounds
this
nice.
poutine over there. I swear, if I lived in Canada, I'd be the fattest man alive. They have this. So they have you know what poutine is, right?
I don't know. Should
No.
I?
You should. You should. So poutine is so basically it's fries, gravy, and then cheese. Right? It's like one of their.
Okay.
It's like the unofficial national
Yeah.
dish of Canada. So
Yeah, I've seen pictures. I've never had that though.
it's delicious. So they got this place called Smokes Poutineery, and they got
Mhm.
like chicken bacon ranch poutine, vegetarian poutine, turkey poutine,
Nice.
shrimp poutine.
Sounds good.
It's good, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would
understand.
always go get that stuff over there. But it was a good time. But you don't have to necessarily go to the Caribbean and go party on spring break to go on a cruise. It's the idea that
Yeah.
I try to get around to people. Real
I
quick
think
before
it's
we
more
continue,
American
Scott.
idea, the
Yeah,
party
yeah,
idea,
exactly.
and
Of
here
course.
it's more the old.
Yeah. Scott the Shooter, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Said better than Disney cruise. I'm thinking European river cruise during Christmas mark.
That sounds
Well, you've been
amazing.
on the. Well, I'm sure you're
I've done
the river
2.
cruise expert around here. How was it? How was the?
Yeah.
So
So
do you? Is there a comparison for you, or are they similar, or are they completely different for you?
no, I think that just the word cruise is the only thing that's really similar between the two. So the river cruise will have like 100 passengers on it, and it will be pretty much one restaurant, one lounge, a swimming pool, and that's it. And you sail, and then you go on excursions, and it's nothing like a normal cruise. You don't have
Well,
theaters or anything like that. Normally, river cruises are more expensive, but you have more included. Most of them include an excursion a day and drinks and stuff like that.
nice.
See, that's more of a chill. A river cruise is more chilled out, I think.
Okay, so I got a legitimate question now.
Mhm.
Is the pool on board the river cruise bigger than on the Scarlet Lady?
Well, I've been on 2, and I think 2 river cruises, and I think one of them was bigger. We had one on the top deck, which I think was bigger, and then the other one had one like inside at the back, like an infinity pool. I think that might have been smaller, but I'll let you know when I've come back from Scarlet Lady, because I'm gonna try that pool.
Oh
I'm
man,
gonna.
maybe they've made some changes behind everybody's back.
No, they
We don't
haven't.
know. Oh well, never mind. I take that back. Wait, so here's my question: how did you get on the? You were there for a day. Were you invited on the ship?
Yeah, so it was like a overnight press event. So everyone on there was a journalist or a YouTuber or a
Blogger.
travel agent.
Mhm.
Yeah, just an overnight kind of thing. So I ran around it, and I very much did a review. This is what I see. This is the review of a ship.
Okay.
And I stand by everything I said, and that's still 100% true. But it's now a lot cheaper, so it's good.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, so I'm assuming you're excited to go back then. Maybe you'll have a different
Yeah.
experience this time around, especially actually doing a cruise as opposed to just being on there for a day.
Yeah, I mean, there's still certain things on there I don't think I'm ever going to like. I don't like the bed situation. If I had to sleep head to head in like an L shape with someone, that's just really weird.
I've seen it, and I'm curious. I get it because their idea is to target. I guess technically people our age, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I was like,
right? So you would think. I mean, given obviously it's not going to be for everybody. No matter they could say all day it's for a specific age, right? Even if you're generalizing in that sense, people are still going to like it, not like it, etc. It's going to happen.
yeah,
but do you think
things like that.
Yeah, but in your opinion, do you think it was just a personal thing, or do you think it's something that you think it was just kind of weird overall?
Yeah, there's just a few things where they've gone completely against every other cruise line, maybe to be completely different.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why some things are just the way that they are, and some things are a bit odd. But if it is, it is the same price as Royal Caribbean this summer. I just see it as a quirky alternative. I don't know if I'll ever cruise with Virgin again, or I don't know if it's my type of cruise line, but I'll try it for 3 days this summer. I think I'd be silly not to. So
Why not? Why not?
yeah,
All right,
give it
first
a
of
go.
all, exactly. C. Johnson, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. And I know I haven't said this during the live stream yet, guys. If you're coming in, make sure you hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. It goes a very long way with the channel. You have no idea. Seriously,
Yeah,
thank you. And
YouTube
we gotta
loves
do
it.
some housekeeping real quick. Everybody wants to know, how's Hudson doing?
He's not here at the minute. He's
What?
worn out. He's had a very tired day. It's pouring with rain here. Everything is flooded. Things have been coming down the chimney. The rain's been coming in the cat flap. So we've had like quite an inside day. It's worn him out. So he's asleep.
Okay.
He's
And
my
everybody, that's
cat,
not
by the
Lauren
way.
is. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, I guess we got a lot of new people in here. By the way, if you guys
Yeah.
are new, if you don't go subscribe to Emma Cruz's channel, we got a problem. All right. Now, Given, look, I am trying to catch up to her. We unfortunately, you know how the YouTube game works. It's all.
Oh, it's up and down and stops and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You know, it is what it is. I enjoy it. I really do. I keep telling myself my goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Especially with this travel boom coming. I think it's very, very possible.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I mean, I would like that 100,000 plaque that you get, but I try not to like view it as
you can't. Yeah, you can't obsess of it. Of course not.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just I'm very open about YouTube, and I think it's changed my entire life. And I believe that getting that for me, and again, it's not like something I'm obsessed over, but I'm like, you know what? If I can do that, I think it would just kind of prove that this is legitimate, this is real. Because
Yeah,
I don't know what's up.
For me, when I had 2,000, I thought, oh, everyone with 5,000, they're proper YouTubers. Then when you get 5, you think, oh, 20,000. And then when you get, where we are, it's like, oh, 100. I just think we're going to do it forever. So I'm trying not to view it as like a destination. This is a journey. We're having a good time.
Exactly. Well, don't get me wrong. I look at all of it as a journey. YouTube is very beautiful, and we all look back at our videos, right? I look back at my video from a year ago, completely. I'm like, did I say that?
Yeah, I'm just like, I look like that. Oh,
yeah,
God.
well, that's why you can't get too caught up in the music, right? Because you'll look back at videos and you're like, because I'll tell people as well that are starting YouTube or getting on content, creating content. Say, look, you should just do it, because chances are you'll probably end up somewhere really cool, or it'll at least change your life in a very, very big way. So why not go ahead and go all in? It makes sense. Right?
It's free.
Because no matter what, exactly. No matter what, you're gonna look back on those videos either way. Even if you think you did the most amazing job, I can look back on any of my videos that have hundreds of thousands of views and say, "Oh man, what was wrong with me? What was I doing? Why did I say that?"
It's like, not great.
It's like that. It happens all the time. So, give me a second. We got a couple more super chats coming in. I try not to lose these, because I already know how these feeds go, and you got to try to hunt them down. So I try to get to
I know.
Mike Griffin, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, "You guys rock. I appreciate it. Lovely to see you both. I appreciate it. Thank you. I hope I'm not breaking you guys' screen. I know Emma, she's looking nice for you guys, but me on the other hand, I'm just chilling."
You're so mean to yourself.
So people always put me down. They're like, "Oh,
I know, but I'm like, stop it, guys.
Leave me alone." Let's see. Is it Camille Haj? I hope I'm saying that right. $100 super chat. Wow. Thank you so much. Look, we got to get this guy a shirt. Look, I told them, because everybody they like the stereotypical Hawaiian tropical tourist shirts I've been wearing lately. I got to get some of these custom made, some Shiplife official tourist T-shirts.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
cool.
you
Yeah, can make them into something that's like small, and you can send it in the mail easier.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously, thank you for the $100 super chat. I gotta do something, man. Reach out to me on email or something. Maybe we can talk through like a private live stream. Dude, like, seriously, thank you. Let's see. Just missing something. Almost 200 like, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like button if you're coming in. I appreciate it. But so I do gotta ask then, because I mean, we all know that, like, well, both of us, we all have the understanding that YouTube is a journey. It's a beautiful journey. We have built a really cool community, and I love it. I really do. I have to remind myself sometimes that, like, wow, I have people that are willing to listen to me talk, which is it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like
crazy.
Yeah, But my question is, so what is the overall goal for Emma Cruises? What do you want out of your channel?
I have no idea, because every year is completely different. Like, I couldn't imagine where I would be in a year's time.
I'm asking you all the tough questions.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got a busy summer. I just want to tell stories about the places I've been, the things that I've learned. Really, I'm on the budget side of cruising, so I like to help people, cruise cheaper so they can cruise more. That's always the best thing. But I just want to carry on. I hope everyone stays around, appreciate everybody, and we'll see where things take us. Like, I don't really have a plan. But I mean, we couldn't have made a plan because like a year and a half ago, like
I mean, personally, I believe in a flexible plan. There's no such thing as a perfect plan because it doesn't work, right? You've seen as you go down the road of YouTube, you learn all this stuff, right? Because I went from stacking my phone on a bunch of books, right, not knowing what's gonna happen, just trying it out, to understanding like YouTube as somewhat in a way a business, it's a business, it's a community, it's a very beautiful thing. Like for me, my whole idea is that, again, like I said, I believe the world would be a better place if everybody traveled. I really, really do. I'm sorry, but especially Americans. As a fellow American, I believe that America would be a better place if people traveled, right? So for me, even now, as you see, like even outside of cruising, I do a ton of traveling. This is just who I am as a person. My girlfriend and I were very big with Airbnb and just economic travel. So as time goes and I build my knowledge up on cruising, like hopefully, again, me and you should definitely talk in between all of this, because I would love to understand the ins and out of how cruising works so that people can get better deals so that they can travel as well and have, just travel experience, because I don't think there's anything like it. I really don't. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it so much easier. I've been to places on cruises that I would never have gone to if it wasn't for a cruise. Like, I took a cruise from Singapore to Tokyo and we did a day in Vietnam. Would I have ever gone to Vietnam for a day? I mean, I know some people say, oh, well, you only get a day in each place, but I go back to the places that I like and I want to spend more time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a good like test run of these destinations. As I'm saying, not taking anything away from cruising. I think cruising is very, very beautiful. But I think for people that maybe want to take it a step further with travel, you can go to these destinations and realize how much you enjoy them and then go back over there as well. Like, for example, I went over to Bermuda, which at the time too, I don't know, maybe I was just kind of stupid. I saw Bermuda on our itinerary when I was working for NCL. I'm like, the Bermuda Triangle? Is that where we're going?
People always ask that. They're like, ships go through the triangle. Yes,
we end up going to this gorgeous island, and I said, "Wow, this is amazing." Now, given looking at the prices, I personally would never go there other than by way of cruise. But very, very beautiful destination. But that's the same with the Bahamas. Cozumel, I was able to go there because my girlfriend and I, we know the Yucatan over here in Mexico pretty well. We do a lot of bouncing around, and honestly, be it a cruise or not, you can get around here extremely cheap here in Mexico. Very, very cheap here in Mexico. Given that you plan everything out and you look at everything, even the Airbnb stays and stuff. So my girlfriend's getting ready to start another channel as well. I'm going to start another channel just talking about this stuff, which I'm really excited about. But just when you look at all this in cruising and travel, I catch myself and realize how beautiful it is and how lucky people like me and you are to be able to do this stuff too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
it
some
really
people,
is amazing.
Yeah, some people never get the chance to go anywhere, and it's like. Yeah. On a cruise, I mean, I've done a week-long cruise where I've been to 5 countries, which is just crazy, isn't it, when you think about it like that?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, a great sampler, and then you can always go back, or you can decide where you don't want to go back to, and you won't waste your money.
yeah, definitely. Wait, so have you been to the Caribbean at all?
I have done 2 cruises there, yeah.
Where'd you go?
I'm trying to remember. I did one which was the classic, like Costa Maya, Cozumel, that one. That's it. And I did a Bahamas one, but the Bahamas one, a man jumped off the ship on that cruise, so we didn't get to go to the ports. But I have done 2, so I've done the sail out of Miami and all of that stuff, but not recently. And I don't know when I'll be back over to America, because
I was gonna say, I think I saw a comment. Yeah, I saw a comment. Some people were saying, I gotta push you to get onto a Carnival cruise or a cruise out here in the US.
I tried to cruise with Carnival. I booked one for 2020. That's the closest I ever came. It was in May, and it didn't happen, obviously. So I tried.
Yeah. Well, you definitely gotta come over this way. And I'm in Europe a lot too. So whenever all of this craziness gets done and over with, I will definitely be over that way, which I'm really excited for. I think it'd be cool as an American to go over there and vlog, maybe on like a Cunard or a Costa. I think it'd be an interesting experience.
I'd love to see
So,
you on a Cunard cruise or a Costa cruise or in
yeah.
any of, a British cruise line, try a P&O cruise or something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, well, same. My girlfriend's French as well too. There's a couple French cruise lines we might go ahead and jump on, and since we can communicate a little bit better over there, I just think it'd be interesting to blog over that area.
Yeah, that would
be
cool for sure.
It's just careful planning. But here's my question. As far as everything, again, I don't want to get too deep into this because fortunately, with everything, there are a lot of buttons that can be pushed here. What do you think about everything going on here with the U.S. as far as cruising?
I can't keep up with it because every time I learn something like, oh right, this cruise line requires masks cruising from, like I was catching up recently on the thing from Florida where Royal Caribbean, some people vaccinated, some people not, and they want to do different things, and I'm like, that is so confusing. How are they going to manage that stuff? I think it doesn't need to be this hard. And sometimes I look at America and I'm like, we've been cruising, we're cruising in the UK. Europe has been cruising since last July. We know how safe it is. We've tested the procedures like so much. Do we need to do test cruises again?
I've been saying that since the beginning. Well, we had what is it? Freedom of the Seas just quietly snuck off to their test cruise yesterday. But at this point too, again, I talk about this stuff on Cruise News, and I'm still confused on what's going on, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, what? Everybody's like, oh, well, do we have to wear a mask? Do we have to? I'm like, well, as of a few days ago, yeah. Now you got to get tested. Things are changing every day. And I think I can't understand personally why it's gotten, the restart, especially here in the States, have gotten so complicated compared to what's going on in other parts of the world. Because I talked about it the other day with you, how you guys essentially went from, and it's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, but you guys essentially went from like a lockdown straight back to cruising. Why can't we do that?
I literally went from 1 week I was not allowed, you weren't allowed anyone in your house. You're allowed 6 people in your garden, no one in your house. And then within a week, lockdown had eased and we were on a cruise.
Well, that's confusing to me. At the time, the UK seemed like one of the strictest. I got friends in the UK, the Ireland, Canada, but it's like those 3 areas were some of the most strictest regulated places on the planet. And next thing I know, I see them announcing sailings. I'm like, I just left from there. There's no way.
But the thing is so MSC are the only cruise line here that don't require vaccines. Every other cruise line requires everyone to be vaccinated, and everyone has just said, okay, that's fine. Like, no one is arguing this or like,
I don't think it should be, but that's what I'm saying. They did it right over there. I don't think it should be any more complicated than that. Real quick before I finish my reply to that, John Hawkins, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. They said, Emma, we Americans can't keep up with it either. Yeah, I agree. But to me, it's like you see all this going on, right? Look at the ships that have to now sail out of the Caribbean, right? So that means passengers then have to fly over there just to go on a cruise and then fly back, which for these islands and ports of call, whatever, good idea. I mean, it helps them out a little bit, benefits. But why should it have to go to that extent? I don't understand why it has to be more complicated than it needs to be, right? I've been using it as a reference point because I even see the arguments in my videos as well. And I tell people, I said, I do believe cruise lines like MSC are an amazing reference point to look at. I believe the cruise line should take a note and the government should take a note and understand that this is able to happen. And my whole idea too, and it's, again, I don't want to touch too much on this because I hate how political all this has gotten. My idea behind it is if they're using the PCR test to justify the numbers and how bad this has gotten, the PCR test and the testing that they have pre-boarding, during the cruise, and after should be more than enough to justify anybody being on the cruise vaccinated or not.
Yeah,
that's personally how I look at it.
It's tricky. I mean, here, MSC, I'm very grateful that they did unvaccinated cruises, of course, because I was on one and I wouldn't have been able to go on a cruise because I wasn't fully vaccinated at that point. But
you only
literally,
had the one shot, right?
Yeah, I had only had one. I've had 2 now. Okay. So all the other cruises I'm going on are fully vaccinated, but all the other ones, you still have to wear masks. You still have to social distance. It's still all the same rules for all the other cruises I have this summer. And like, no one cares because you're going on a cruise. If you don't like it, don't go. Like, that's pretty much the attitude we have here. So
now personally, I brought up that argument too, but I think the audience overall, mine, when I do the live streams, I talk about this. They had a pretty valid point. That's the UK. This is America. Here, the cruisers and the people here are a little bit more sometimes aggressive. You just you never know what you're going to get with an American crowd. This is something that I've known, like especially somebody that has traveled not just on cruises but all around the world, right? I noticed that in America is not a bad place. It's just it gets stereotyped a lot. But the truth about the United States, the United States is a giant bowl of people from all over the world with different teachings, different cultures, and you legitimately never know what you're going to get. Now, if you go to
Yeah.
like the UK, if you go to London, if you go to parts of France, if you go to any of these other countries, culture-wise, everybody's somewhat in a very light way on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, the cruise
In America,
industry
it's
is
just
huge for you. Like the
yeah,
American, it's so huge. Whereas here, I don't know what percentage size it is of the US, but it's much smaller.
yeah.
So I guess with huge numbers of people, it's tricky, isn't it, to do anything? So it is
Yeah,
what it
but
is.
it's just I have friends in that live in the States that are literally from all over the place. And again, it's like when you combine all those teachings, combined with the fact that most people that reside in the United States don't really travel, it creates a big melting pot for potential disaster. So people have been right on that argument as well. They're saying, well, if this can happen, well, maybe unfortunately this could happen too. You can have like in the UK, people are fine with being vaccinated and unvaccinated on the same cruise, but you might have that one person on board a Carnival cruise or an NCL that's going around making a big deal about it. They might see
Yeah,
somebody that doesn't have a wristband on that maybe isn't following the rules, and I think that's very that's a valid argument to make because you also got to wonder who's going to enforce those rules because there
yeah,
isn't enough security. I was going to make a separate video about this. I still might. Just knowing from what I know working on board cruise ships, you're not going to get the regular crew to enforce that stuff. You can't go from being
that's not fair
yeah,
on them.
yeah. It's not fair on them because the thing is, the idea is for them to create this utopic environment for cruising, which is great. They do an amazing job at it. But to then have them flip the script and say, well, you can't do this, you can't do that, and try to be a little bit more, put a little bass in their
Yeah,
voice, so to speak, to
aggressive.
talk
Yeah,
about it, you can't expect them to do that. And there's just simply not enough security to enforce it either. So you do got to wonder how all that's going to work out.
yeah.
You know,
I do feel like
I
just the different rules with Royal Caribbean, vaccinated and
yeah,
unvaccinated. It's just so
yeah.
much work.
It's a lot. It really is. So I do wonder how all that's going to play out. I'll see what happens with Carnival as well. But it's for that reason I jumped on Carnival.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah, good. Mardi Gras. I mean, come on.
yeah, it's gonna be a great experience. I can't wait. But honestly, I just can't wait till all of this is over too. Because the thing is with my channel, I talk a lot. Obviously, I know people are saying in the comments they're like
I just saw.
Jay's always talking. I think there's just so much to say here. I just can't wait till cruising goes back to normal. That's all I'm looking forward to.
I think it will soon. I think, I mean,
Well,
the rest of 2021 is a bit different. I think
it's gonna
things
be
things will
yeah, we
get
still got
better.
some rough waters. Still got some rough
Yeah,
waters to get through.
it's better though. It's better than where we've been, so it's good.
Exactly. Jay, when you go on the Mardi Gras, I'll be on the inaugural sailing on the 31st, and I'm so excited. What was that, Stephen Cohen? He said, "What is that? Start kicking people off the ship for breaking the rules, and I'll bet everyone will start listening to the employees." I don't
I
know.
mean, they
You seen what's
did.
been going on? They
They did
did, but
kick
we've
people
also
off,
seen
didn't
what's
they, with MSC and
yeah,
stuff? So
yeah.
waste your
We'll have to
money if you're
see.
gonna do that.
Well, yeah. Well, you see what's going on with the airline situation too. Have you seen any of that?
Don't think so.
There's been tons and tons of situations where people are being aggressive on flights over mask policy, and this they said this there seemed like a huge uptick, and it continues to happen. Even I
Like
think it happened.
in the air, because you
Yeah.
can't really kick people out.
Well, not kicking them out, but you have people. The plane had to be turned around for several instances,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, and apparently it continues to happen. People are just snapping on planes for some reason, so they're trying to enforce more regulations and whatnot. They may have to do something similar on ships, though.
Yeah, I think break the rules, you don't get your cruise. End of
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So we'll see. But either way, I'm ready for all this to be over. I'm gonna book a couple more cruises. You got to come over to the U.S. and come on a cruise.
It feels very far away at the minute, but yeah, I will. I'm sure I will. It's just
Yeah,
for 2021. I think sticking closer to home is probably a good idea, and then
probably,
then I'll
probably
come
to see
back. I
what's gonna
think.
happen. So for
Yeah,
your channel though, do you think you'd ever? Because people ask me all the time. You think you'd ever do like a group cruise?
I don't know. I would worry that I would be a letdown to everybody because I'm not
Why'd you
that
say that?
I'm not that when I cruise, I mean, I'll sit in the bar and have drinks in the evening and stuff, but I'm gonna want to go to bed at like a reasonable time and stuff. And if people came all that way to see me, like I don't know, I would never say never, but I would prefer to like say if Tony or Don or someone is doing one or you're doing one, I'll just come along and I'm there, but I can still, you know,
I
take
think
my
you'd be all
time.
right. I think once you got around the environment, I don't know. I'm definitely a little bit more, I guess, chill than I used to be. That's for sure. Working with the Harlem Globetrotters and stuff and traveling all over the place, it was party every night. And for me, I'm just like, let's
Yeah, I
calm
mean,
down now.
I mean, I knew so many people on the MSC cruise I took that it was really nice, but it was really odd. You know, like I'd walk past the pub and
Was
people would
it?
be like, "Emma, it's so strange."
So speaking
But we
of
had,
that, yeah. No, what were you
yeah,
saying? Because I got to talk to you about that.
just
I'm
the
curious.
fact that the people who were on the first cruise from the UK obviously were the people who love cruising,
Yeah.
and a lot of my audience are the people that really love cruising. So I knew so many people on there, which wasn't something I've really had before, because I mean I spent the last year building up my channel, but before the pandemic, the last time I took a cruise, I don't know, I had like 4,000 subscribers, so not used to it,
Yeah.
but it was fun.
Well, same here. Same here. Again, we both. I guess the pandemic kind of brought both of our channels up, right? We weren't, I think before this, prior to this, there was Tony, there was Don, there were a couple other cruise YouTubers, but we were still kind of like creeping around, right?
Yeah,
And
I was
I
always
think,
around.
yeah, yeah. Well, but for me, like it was so weird. It was an experience. Like just my point to all this is like I went to Port Canaveral,
Hmm.
and the amount of people that recognized me, I was
Yeah.
like. I said, "Oh my God, it's Jay. Hey, can I have a picture with you, man? I love your channel." I'm like,
Yeah,
sure,
it's
yeah."
it's like when you're on a cruise, it's fine, because if someone says, "Oh, Emma," I assume that they know me through something cruise related. But it
Hmm.
happened to me when I was doing, I've been doing some volunteering, like at the COVID vaccine center, and someone was there to
Hmm.
get their vaccine, and they came up to me and they said, "Oh, I recognize you." And my first thought, it didn't cross my mind that they'd recognize me from YouTube. I was like, "No, no, you don't." But they did. They knew me from YouTube. But when it's in a different situation, especially since I had a mask on, it was just my eyes.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really nice, but it was just really odd.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So I can't imagine what's going to happen on board the cruise. Was it like overwhelming for you on board the cruise? Were people left and right recognizing you?
It was really nice. Like I would recognize the same. You know, there were only 1,000 passengers on our cruise, and it's a big ship,
Ah,
but you
okay.
still see the same people all the time. So it was kind of
Hmm.
like, you know, if someone just smiles at me and waves, I'm just going to smile and wave back. Like I don't, if I don't know who they are, I'll just be polite
Yeah.
to anyone.
Yeah.
So it just felt like, oh, everyone on this cruise is so nice, which they
Hmm.
were, but also they kind of knew me, which was strange. But it was awesome. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how all that's gonna go down. Well, people are gonna see me running around like a crazy person all on board the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Well, because for me, I want to create some content, and the thing is, for me, you've seen I have a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and with my blogs too, I believe in just trying out different things. I come from an entertainment background, so I guess my
Yeah.
style of content, other than the news, is typically a little bit different. I'm like I want to be able to incorporate like just some entertainment value to the tours or the walkthroughs of the vlogs that I do as well. So I already told people that's coming on the Mardi Gras, should be prepared. Just look for a little short guy flipping around all over the place and talking.
That'll be fun.
You
There'll
can't
be
miss me.
loads of people on that
So,
cruise, and I'm sure other, you know, cruise YouTubers will be on there and stuff. So
oh yeah, I
yeah.
can't wait. I did meet some others. So even when I was in
You met
Cozumel,
Tony.
yeah. Well, so I was hunting around from that guy all day long in Cozumel. Well, because the only other time I had met him was over in Port Canaveral. And
Hmm.
I got there. I had messaged him the day they sailed on Adventure of the Seas, their first day out on embarkation day. And he's like, "Yeah, we're all meeting at." So there's a place really popular. It's not a resort, but it's like an all-inclusive over in Cozumel that everybody goes to called Mr. Sancho's.
Oh
And
yeah,
he said,
yeah.
he's
Heard
like,
of that
"Yeah,
one.
yeah." He's like, "We're meeting over there. Come on over. We'll be there in the afternoon. I'll shoot you a text." I said, "Oh, okay, cool. We'll talk." But I guess I didn't hit me over there. I guess he may not have had signal while
He's
in Cozumel. So I'm
probably
texting
busy.
him, yeah, yeah, same. And I'm texting
Yeah.
him from Royal Caribbean blog, and I didn't hear from anybody. I did run into JoJo and Kyle. They're I guess primarily somebody told me primarily Disney vloggers.
Hmm.
They were primarily Disney vloggers, and they were really cool. So it was their first cruise actually. but they also live in Orlando too. So they're like, oh yeah, well, I told them for the most part, I'll probably be vlogging alone and whatever. Like, yeah, well, you're going on the Mardi Gras, we might just jump over there. Maybe we can all vlog together and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because
No,
well,
you'll have so much fun, I'm sure.
yeah, well, for them too, since it was their first cruise. They seemed a little bit just kind of out of. They weren't used to the ports of call, right?
Yeah.
Because they were
Fair
asking
enough.
questions. And then, no offense to them, it's understandable. The first time in port, they're like, "Well, is it dangerous here?" Because naturally, when people hear Mexico and stuff like that, I was like, "No, no, dude. Like Mexico, the crime rate here is pretty much zero in Cozumel. You can go wherever you want, but like typically when I go there, we'll get like a car and we'll just kind of drive around the island and But they end up going, I guess, back to the ship. So I just told them, well, they live in Orlando, I live in Tampa, an hour away. We can just meet up at some point. But
Yeah, that
I
sounds
went
good.
on the hunt for Tony. By the time I
Yeah.
finally found Tony, it started pouring down. It hadn't rained that whole day. As soon as I meet up with Tony, it just I don't know what it was. It was like somebody just took a gigantic bucket and just. So him and I, we talked for like a little bit. We couldn't get our equipment out to do any filming or anything like that because it was so much rain, and he had to go back to the ship as well. So we did like a quick little, just like 2-minute video for both of us, and then after that we were out, and that was it. I was like, it happens.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though.
Let's see, real quick. I'm gonna do somebody gave me a super chat, and I think somebody had a question for you as well. I'm added on the bucket list to meet Emma on a cruise ship. Spuds for life.
So, yeah, my Spuds are my my Patreons. If you didn't know, my Spuds.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
this is another YouTube thing. So I mentioned on a live stream that, if anyone watches any of my videos and they comment, that helps YouTube, right? So I said in a video, if you comment anything, even if it's a potato comment, it helps YouTube. And since then, every I'd say 1 in 5 is about potatoes. So I get questions.
I saw that at the beginning, even before I started the stream. Somebody said something about potatoes. Say, hey Jay, how you feel about the potato? And I'm like,
there we go. It's me.
I'm gonna wait till Emma gets here because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But look, somebody also said, Mark. What are you saying?
I didn't mean to become like a potato lady, but now I always get questions. What's your favorite potato? How are the potatoes on this cruise? It's fine. I love potatoes, so it's good.
See, you got to be careful here. People here just know I like Oreo cheesecake, and that's it. That's the end.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's see. We got another one. Since Martin Griffin, Jay, you guys need a tea drinking contest.
No. Real tea,
Long Island.
yes.
No, they said it's got to be a Long Island. We got to have a alcohol drinking contest.
Proper tea, then yes.
Yeah. Look, we'll have to figure it out. I guess at some point we'll probably. I mean, who knows? Maybe at some point, me, you, Don, Tony, we'll all be on a cruise together. We can all have a drinking contest. That would be
awesome. Fun. I'll have a proper
tea. We'll see what happens.
Sounds good.
Let's see. I saw something. Oh, somebody said I thought you were a Pepsi lady.
Definitely, I'm a Pepsi lady. But you can't start with Pepsi at like 9 a.m. That's an afternoon drink. So tea and then Pepsi.
Well, I heard, on a cruise, technically anything goes. If I want to get a margarita at 8 a.m., which I probably will do, I'm going to get a margarita, and that's going to be the end of it.
Do it. Treat yourself.
We'll see. I mean, even when we get to the ports of call, as soon as we get to wherever we're going, I think on the Mardi Gras, we're going to Puerto Rico, we're going to Nassau, and then we're going to, Amber Island, Amber Cove. So, I'm probably going to get a pina colada as soon as we get off the ship and just go have at it from there.
Amazing. Do it.
So, we'll see. We got about 2 minutes here. I mean, if anybody has any more questions, just go ahead and write them in real quick. I don't want to, waste anybody's time out here. I know we're all having a good time, but unfortunately, I don't know, maybe Emma has more videos she's got to make. I know you've been busy, too. You've been pumping out a lot of videos, by the way.
Not compared to you. You have so many.
I've been doing more live streams since I've been out here in Mexico, because the thing is, like, the Wi-Fi here is not the greatest. You just never know out here in Mexico. We were staying in one place and the entire block just went out middle of the night.
No.
So you never know. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could try to do a video, but without Wi-Fi too, and the signal here I'm on very weak signal. Uploading a video. I don't know if you ever had this problem, but there's times where I try to upload a video, and there's some times where you'll be like last minute on a video, or you make a change and you got to go back and do it, and you want to have it done by a certain time. And the upload, for some reason, out of nowhere, the video that upload that once took 5 minutes takes 3 hours, and I'm just like, what is going on?
I used to have to leave mine overnight, like go to bed, leave it, and it would upload in the morning. It was awful.
Well, The thing is, though, and for me, what became more difficult was just again doing the cruise news, the stress, right? Because
So
if there's something
much
that comes
news.
out, and I can't. It's all time sensitive, right? So it's like I got to be one of the first people, and it's like, especially because me and Tony are doing it. It's not a competition, but at the same time, unfortunately, it kind of is too. Because it's like if his goes out, the algorithm's gonna bump his, or mine, vice versa. It's the same thing. And I'd be trying to get a video out, and I'm creating the thumbnail, and I'm like, all right, by the time I get the thumbnail done, then the video should be done, and no, and then it'll be like two
No,
hours. And then I got to deal with
so annoying.
the Heat team. Everyone's like, "Oh, Jay, you're late." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't have been late. My video just took 2 hours and 3 hours to
Yeah,
upload."
there's
So,
literally nothing you can do in that situation.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let's see.
I'm on a cruise in 2 weeks, so I'm trying to get ahead of myself so that I have some, my schedule doesn't stop. That's my plan at the minute.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why I've kind of more so taken the approach of just doing evergreen content now. It's less stressful, right? I can just sit here all day and put a video together and not have to worry about it and say, you know what, I can launch it Wednesday or Thursday or whatever and just
Hmm.
be done with it, Because I know over time it's going to do well anyway. It's not really so much of, I don't need that initial pump for that day.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it gets addicting though, too. It's addicting.
of course.
I was talking, me and Tony were talking about that. You feel that rush when you see that video just pop a little bit more than usual. You're like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, that comes with that's the 1 out of 10 best video, and then that comes with 9 times where you're not the best out of 10, and it's like,
yeah,
I tried so
I,
hard.
I hate that. I hate that YouTube does that. I don't. It's good and bad. How it ranks your
Mean.
videos from the top. I'm like, oh, why do you do that? You're
Yeah.
basically letting me know that all the work I just put in and it didn't amount to much.
No,
Right?
but I mean, it can take off in a year or 2 years. But
Yeah.
my favorite videos never do that well. Because I like doing, I made one about I stayed on the Queen Mary, and it's like kind of a history video, and I love that stuff, but the audience doesn't really like it that much.
Well,
But I'm
that's the
still going to
same
make
too.
it.
That's the same. I think with my video, again, I don't know if you've seen it. I did 10 things I hated about working on board a cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
And it was a very general video, right? And I think I don't think I was biased, and I was just kind of speaking in very general terms as far as anybody working on a cruise ship, not just for me. But the amount of hate that I got on that video, oh, you're just being lazy and this and that. I'm like, why are you always talking about negative? I said, I did 10 things I loved about working on board a cruise ship, but that doesn't
Didn't watch
even have
that,
a
did
fraction.
they? Yeah.
I said, why don't you watch this video too? No, you just hating all the time. I'm like, dude, no, I believe in both sides of the coin. That's all. Like I can be, these things can be objective and you can feel how you want about it. But even if, I'm sure like I put disclaimers out there too, like just so you guys know, this isn't for everybody on every cruise ship. Every cruise line has its own company. Things are different. So please don't take anything personally. Sure enough, we see it. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, I'm not gonna keep you for too much longer, Emma. I know you got things to do. Somebody said do the Carlton dance. Look, I'm not doing it this time. Emma's got to do the Carlton.
Emma doesn't know
I have
how
this
to
thing
do
where we reach like a threshold of. Have you done Carlton?
No, I don't know how to dance at all. Can't dance anything.
What was that?
I can't dance anything. I have no idea.
You don't know what the Carlton is?
I don't know how to do anything like that. Nothing. I think we're like delayed a bit now. It's a bit strange. Yeah.
It would happen at the end, right? How weird.
Of course, that's fine. That's fine.
If you do you know what the Carlton is?
A dance, I guess.
I think Carlton's the jinx word. I guess I can't look. It's clearly we're not supposed to be doing the Carlton or mentioning Carlton because the live stream messes up for some reason. That was weird.
Yeah, that's it.
That was really weird. Anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and end here. Emma, it was a pleasure having you. We will definitely have to do this again sometime, and I'm sure we'll meet on a cruise at some point. I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will. Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone who's left lovely comments and watched. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll do this again. I mean, I have more things to say because I'm going on some more cruises, so that's good.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to bring you back, especially with us being the young guns out here. We got to keep it moving for sure. I did have one more question though, if you don't mind. I have one more question. Look, I'm telling you, I wrote down notes and stuff and questions to ask. Didn't use any of them.
We can so
my question though, I briefly looked at your live stream with Chris Frame, right? And I saw you mentioned that you get seasick.
So seasick, yeah.
Really?
Luckily, not that often on cruise ships. But if I'm going, in a car for a couple of hours or in anything, I get really quite travel sick. Luckily, cruises are normally fine, and I know now if they say it's going to be bad weather, I just take a seasickness pill and don't eat too much, don't drink too much, and it's fine.
Gotcha.
It's worth it. Worth it to go on a
Okay,
cruise, but yeah.
So if I ever meet you on a cruise, a couple shots is a no-go. Is that what you're telling me?
Depends how the weather is going, which is ridiculous.
All right, cool. Look, we'll have to figure it out. Like my girlfriend's the same way. She gets seasick. My girlfriend gets seasick on the ferries and whatnot too. And if we're not by, let's say in a room, we got to get the balcony and stuff like that. So I get it. Thankfully, I don't have that. So I don't know. Thankfully, like even when I was working for NCL, spinning around under my head in the middle of we'd be at rocky seas and everything, and it was no problem for me. So good to go.
It's crazy.
But anyway, I had to ask. I was like, I got to say something from my notes today. I had to.
You've done it. You can tick it off. Productive.
Anyway, Emma, I hope you enjoyed. I appreciate you coming onto the live stream. We definitely got to bring you back on.
Cool.
So I'll reach out to you, but I appreciate you for coming in. Take care, guys. Thank you. Hit that like button on your way out, and I appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye.